On the milling machine we have a motorcycle frame, and this frame the owner wants to change the swinging arm spindle for, I assume, a later model. The original spindle had this boss, which, let me just, this boss, threaded boss, 20mm hole in the middle, that's screwed into the frame on the other side, and then the spindle would fit through there and fit through this boss here. So that was a 20mm spindle, and the spindle he wants to fit is this one here. So that will fit. Let me just put that down for a sec, take the nut off. That will fit through there, and that will screw into here because it's the same thread, but it won't go through the boss on the other side because it's bigger. This new spindle is 25mm, the old one was 20mm. So this side's okay, we don't need to touch that, we just need to open this out to 25mm. Simple, you might say, but it's not. Fortunately for us, the owner's given us this boss, which I can take the nut off and screw that. So I'm doing a bit of hand holding, and I've got a camera in the background there. So we can screw that into there. And now we have a 20mm boss in the right place, and we have a 20mm hole here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line bore it with this. Now I'll go off the phone now, switch to the other camera. Let's see if I can get this. Hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So now you think you could turn this around, mount it on the table and bore it out with the machine, but you've got to line these two holes up in a perfectly straight line. And for one thing, I discovered they're not actually true. There's something off here, so that would make it difficult. And mounting it all up on here with the tools, this bed is as low as it will go. We just don't have the room. So what I've done is I've mounted it to the milling bed purely as a fixture. I'm using the bed as a fixture, nothing else. We're not going to use the machine to do this job. We're going to line bore it, and for that we fixed a pillar block bearing here, and we're going to use this. This is something I made, let me think now, must be 20 years ago. I had a camshaft brake on my car. I've got an Astra GTE Mark II, and which, as you can imagine, is has got every trick going in it. And I got into this game of machining. I mean, when I left school I was interested and I had a lathe and whatever, and then I got into cars and motorbikes and things, and then down the line I wanted to tune my cars, and in my case this was an Astra GT, and I had it rebored and I had some work done and whatever, And after about 3 failures, sometimes it was on the bores because the boring wasn't done correctly for the performance pistons that I fitted. And one time the car failed is because the camshaft snapped when I was giving it some welly. That turned out to be because the builder had mixed up parts between 2 heads from another customer's head. Anyway, so long story short, I had a really trick cylinder head that I'd spent an awful lot of money on, having other people port and polish and etc. And it broke its cam cap and did a little bit of damage to the head itself. But I had to use another cam cap off another machine, and I had to line bore it, and for that I used this. I made this up, and now I could. Fortunately for me, it was a central cap that had broken, and so I was able to use the outer caps with some bronze bearings that I made, and I could feed this through and recut a cap to fit. I won't go into it too much, but that's where this bar came from. So we're going to put this bar through this pillar block bearing. It is on the snug side. I've got other things in the way. So we'll feed that through there, hopefully. Come on. Bear with me. And what I discovered was that I had to persuade the bar to move over at this end to get through this bush. But it will go. And then what we do then is I'll use this piece of broken carbide and I will recut it, and it will go in here and be tightened down with a grub screw. And then we go to spin this bar and cut this hole on a bigger diameter. But to do that I need to do a couple of things, and that's where we're going next. So this is my tool and cutter grinder. It's an early Jones and shipment. I've got a work head on here and a stone on here. It's got a couple of chips in it, but it'll suffice for this sort of work. I'm going to put, so get a clear image of what's going on here. Camera doesn't like being very close. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. I'll switch the machine on. And we're going to grind a flat. We're going to grind this this diameter down to half diameter. So we'll take a measurement. .77. This is a 6 mil diameter, so you want to get it down to 3 millimeters. 3.92, so we've got a bit to go yet. I think that will do it. We'll take it out of there. And this is what we have. It's not perfect, but I think it will do this job. Now we need to give it a bit of relief here. I'm just going to do this by freehand. Right, so we'll give this a go. We've got a nice sharp edge. I've just nipped the corners off slightly, and I've given it some back relief. Not the tidiest job, but that's what you get for doing it by hand, but I think it'll suffice. And we'll put it in the machine, in the boring bar. Right, so now we've got this bar in here. We've cut our tool. So we've got this bar in here. We've brought the tool over to this side because we're going to cut it that way, in turning this clockwise. And you could just probably see the cutter there, just sticking out, held in with a grub screw. This is sticking out 1.45 millimeters. This is a 20mm bar in a 20mm hole. So to get 25, we want this sticking out 2.5 millimeters. At the moment it's sticking out just under 1.5 millimeters for our first cut. Because this bar is under a strain, because these two holes don't line up properly, we're going to take a light skim to relieve the pressure off this hole, so that when we take our final cut, this bar will be relaxed. But it'll all be held in line with this bearing here, which the bar can slide through as it turns. and we're going to drive this with this socket that I originally welded on years ago, and we're going to put in a couple of these adapters. Just a sec. So we're going to put in a couple of these adapters so that we can, whatever we drive it with, which is going to be this mag drum, doesn't need to be perfectly in line. The alignment is done with this bearing and the sleeve over there. So this can be slightly off. Don't want it much off, but it doesn't matter if it's a little off. So we need to drive this with this. And with that, we're going to take this piece of steel and make an adapter, which we will do next. So we're going to take this piece of metal and turn it into an adapter. So now we have the adapter in the vise. Bit of a job, considering I've got everything else set up on the milling table, but I've managed to squeeze it in. We're just zeroing out our piece. And in the centre. y equals half. So we basically be putting the two coordinates on the DRO and then halve it, and when we move our table back to 0 we're on centre. Which is there. So now we change that. And I'm going to drill this with a 6.8mm drill bit. For an 8mm, 8 by 1.25 tap. I've already just got enough room to make this work. Put that there. We've got a shade under ½ inch. So if we put the drill bit on centre, which it is, near enough, and then drill it. Not sure if we've got enough height, we'll soon find out. In back gear. We'll accept an 8mm thread, but before we thread it, move this camera. Somewhere where you can see. I'll zoom in. This is my magnetic drill, mag drill. And show you what's going on here. Sorry if I sound a bit dull. I'm constantly thinking about what I'm doing and trying to film at the same time, and I do admire those that can keep their videos cheerful at the same time. So we've basically got this unit now, which we've made on the lathe. I've just put that hole in it there, so that fits onto the mag drill, and it is quite a snug fit. You've got to get it square or it won't go on, which is how I wanted it. Right, so we've got this piece machined up now, and this fits on the end of our nose of our mag drill, and it's going to be secured by threading that hole. But before I do that, I'm going to fit it on at the end of the mag drill, and I'm going to use that hole as a guide. Well, that is hard. Might have to do this in the machine, in the machine. Try a brand new and smaller diameter drill. See how that goes. I'm going to put some glasses on for this. And put the machine into gear. Keep it a bit more stable. There we go. That's drilling that quite nicely. I'm going to drill it all the way through. So that's that threaded. Lovely. That's gone on really nice. And we can modify the nose of that to fit into that hole. That's tight on there. Not keen on that. I'll see if I can find something shorter or shorten that one. I might have something shorter. I shall have a look tomorrow. It's getting late now. So this is where we are. I hope this is making sense. But what happens now is that is going to get That's a tight fit. That is going to get welded into there. Put a weld around here. That will go on there. And you can put extension bars as needed in the future. And that will go, let me just widen this. That is wide, okay. And that will go in the end of the boring bar. So the mag drill will drive the boring bar, and we can move the mag drill, it's not mounted yet, but we can move the mag drill up and down on its slide. So we're nearly there, just need to weld this. That would probably do as it is. It's quite tight in there, but I will weld that. Sort out this grub screw, line it all up and get it going. Wow, what a mess. I'll show you the mess. Right, so you've got the mag drill, mounts to this angle iron here, runs up there, and cutter's in there at the moment. Where are we? There we are. That's the Allen key to tighten the cutter down, and there's the cutter there, and it's protruding. Let me find it. Oh. That was much better. Bit of clearance made all the difference. And a bit of a burr on the other side. But I think that'll come off. So now I need to move the mag drill out of the way. Which is easily done on this one. I need to measure this ball. Right, we've made one pass and we're now going for our second pass. Go on it. So the hole is now finished. So we've increased that from 20 to 25 millimeters, and we take the new spindle. Remember the old spindle was 20mm, this one's 25. So we can now feed it through, and this end threads into the frame itself. And you can see the spindle is coming through the hole there. And it is snug. You'll need a spanner to push that all the way through. As it comes up to the, excuse me, as it comes up to this diameter here, sorry, I think this is, there we are. As it comes up to this diameter here, in the hole that we machined out, it gets rather snug. It will do up. It will do up with a spanner. It'll do it fine. Which means it's really snug in there, which is ideal. And then of course a nut goes on the end here to clamp it all down. So that's it. That's the job done. I had a bit of a clean up, put some tools away. There's the mag drill. Our fitting worked well. I did find a smaller grub screw for that. And this will be used on another job I've got, which will be coming up shortly. The cutter has survived for another day. I think possibly on reflection we could have made it a different shape, which might have made life a little bit easier. But the finish was good, it's true, and it's snug. Can't really ask for more than that, and I'm sure he'll be very happy with it. So there we are, that concludes this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's a little bit more interesting than just skimming cylinder heads, which I seem to get a few of. These sort of jobs are always a little bit more interesting, and I've got another one coming up, completely different, but I've got another job coming up which you also might find interesting. So do hang around and we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.